this weekend we celebrate. We're celebrating because it's the Mexican Independence Day. Happy Independence Day. So for that, I want to show you how to cook enchiladas, okay? Cooking enchiladas today, so let's get started. This is what you'll need. So we're gonna need tomatillos, which is a kind of tomato. It's a different kind of tomato that you can get in stores. So something around 6 works fine for for a single meal. We're gonna have to make a salsa, the enchiladas themselves, and Mexican style rice. And like 2 or 3 jalapenos, that's depending to taste. Need serranos, like 5 or 6 should be enough. Personally, I like to add onion and mushrooms, so I'm gonna do that with for the enchilada filling. But you don't have to. This is optional. Oh, and also shallots, because I still got some leftover shallots from the other time. You're gonna need a clove of garlic, cilantro, obviously the chicken to cook, some onions, and cumin, pepper, oregano, paprika, and salt and pepper, of course. So yeah, let's get started.
Oh, and of course, for the rice, we're also gonna need tomato. Well, I actually don't have tomatoes readily available, but tomato paste works. If you have fresh tomatoes, I guess that's better. But anyway.
Alright, so first we're gonna cook the salsa. So we're gonna peel the tomatillos, the chilies, and this we're gonna remove the stems. We're gonna get them in boiling water. Should be ready like around once the tomatillos turn olive green. So if you peel one of these, you will notice how it's like a very bright kind of green. So once it's cooked, it's gonna turn olive green. Okay, so alright. So once they're peeled, you probably want to wash them. So let's do just that, right? Alright, and now they go in the water. We probably should salt the water. Oh, let's also get the onion in there. So next, let's take our chicken breast and let's boil it. It's gonna take a little bit longer because, well, the meat is frozen currently. But once it's ready, you're gonna get chicken stock. So don't discard it. That's gonna be important. We're gonna keep it around. All right. So there it is. Still cooking for now. It's gonna take a while. Let's take this opportunity to prepare the ingredients for the rest of the process. Alright, so as I mentioned before, take a look at the tomatillos now. So they're olive green. But yeah, once you're at this point, let's just get it on the blender. So let me tell you a secret, because you're cute and hot, by the way. The secret to Mexican cuisine is the salsa. It's all about the tanginess, the savoriness, and tasteful spiciness. So if you get it right, you're golden. Like really, like that's the secret to it actually. If you make good salsa, then you're golden. Alright, so once we're at this point, we're gonna blend it with chicken stock. I'm still cooking the chicken over there, and I want to use that stock for the rice. So I'm gonna get prepackaged stock. You can also use concentrate if you want it, but you don't have to, right? But anyway, so let's get chicken stock over there. Alrighty. So I also got some pepper and garlic over there. So let's go for it. Alrighty. So next, let's take a pan. Let's get some oil on it. And we're gonna fry the salsa. This is a very important step. This will give its flavor a lot of depth. And that's what we want, so let's go for it. Alright, so for maximum effect, you want the oil to be really, really hot. Like not exaggeratedly so, but you want it to be, you want it to be very hot. So once it's hot, we're gonna get the salsa in there. Alrighty, so we get the salsa, and here we go. Alright, and now just set it on low for a while. You can just leave it running until you finish cooking everything else. You want this to reduce. because the more it reduces, the tastier it will be. And yeah, just let it running on low, like let's say 15 minutes or so. But you know, it's up to you. You can reduce it as much as you want. You will get a thicker salsa that way, or maybe you want a more liquidy salsa. Alright, so secret number 2. So what's the secret to a good salsa? Or to a good anything, I guess? Well, you taste it, right? That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice actually. I'm gonna get more salt on that. Because if you taste things, you can sort of like, you know, gauge how well you're doing, or if you need to add something or something like that. So, yeah. In the meantime, our chicken should be pretty much close to done. Once it's done, we're gonna take, you know, let's just take a bowl and separate it. We need to shred it. We're gonna have to shred it. So we will do just that. Alright, so carrying on, let's cook the rice. So for the rice, we're gonna need to make a very similar mixture to the salsa. But we're gonna use the stock that we got from the chicken. And we're gonna use cumin, the tomato paste, or fresh tomato, like 2 small tomatoes should be fine. Some salt and pepper, and garlic, and onions. So let's do that. Alright, and here we go. So that's the stock that we got from cooking, right? You probably also want to add like a concentrate. You're gonna need a lot of it, by the way. Like I will aim to a 1 to 1.5 proportion. So you know how when you cook rice, you have to go 1 to 1, 1 cup of water per 1 cup of rice. For Mexican style rice, you actually need a little bit more because we fry it. So let's do that. All right, and here we go. Okay, so we got a delicious tomato paste that we're gonna use for our rice. So let's get to frying rice now. All right, so Mexican style rice, so it has actually this kind of nuance to it that's very complicated to replicate. So let's try this. We're gonna get some oil in a pan, okay? Should be very, very hot, not like a lot. I'm gonna let this cool down a bit because it's obviously overheated. And once we have that, we're gonna get like around 2 cups of rice into this. So let's do that. Yes, you may notice that I'm not actually washing the rice. We want it to be starchy. That's another part of the deal. If you prefer, if you like it somehow, of course you can wash your rice. I don't think it's gonna affect the recipe, but to get the kind of fluffy consistency that we want the starch, okay? Alright, this is kind of like it. I still need to let it run a little bit more. But when you start noticing that little toastiness on things, be very careful that you don't actually end up burning rice, because you know it's very easy for it to happen. This part of the process is actually very delicate and it's pretty easy to mess it up. But once you start seeing that, then we're gonna grab our hot tomato paste and we're gonna toss it on that. Then we're gonna let it boil like in mid-high for like 20 minutes until it finishes puffing up. The rice is gonna soak up all of the juiciness of the paste. It's gonna puff up. We're gonna cover this with a lid. Once we have that, we're gonna have ourselves a nice serving of Mexican rice. Alright, so here we go. That's more like it. Okay? Notice how there's no burnt grains. It's just nice and golden brown. We got it by doing this continuously, okay? So once we have that, let's go for it. Don't be alarmed if it seems like too much, or if it seems like, you know, a lot is happening. Just let it sit. You're just gonna stir it like once or twice through the whole process, but otherwise just let it sit. Wait. Do not meddle. Feel free to add some of the remaining stock you need. Now, check up on this like every 5 minutes or so. it is, and I cannot stress it enough, it is incredibly easy for rice to burn when you're doing this. It's gonna start trying to stick to the bottom of the pan. You want to avoid that as much as possible. So let's cover it up. We check up on it every 5 minutes. If you notice that it's sticking, just stir it. Don't over stir it now, just let it sit. If at any point you notice that your rice is sort of drying out, like without hesitation, just add more of the stock. You still got more warm stock. In the meantime, you may see that our salsa is reducing quite nicely over here. So yeah, just let it sit. Stir it just like once or twice, because it is gonna try to stick to the bottom of the pan. All right. So finally, let's get some tortillas ready. So with a very small amount of oil, we're just gonna warm them up. I recommend doing this on a pan, or directly on a cast iron skillet or something. You can do it on the oven, you can do it on your microwave oven. It still works the same, but you're sort of gonna get better results if you do this. So let's do that. Alright, you just get a couple tortillas in there. Just make sure that they're coated in oil. Just very briefly, just toast them a little bit, right? You don't need to marinate them. You don't need to leave them here soaking in oil. Let's do this. Very nice, very quickly, until they're warmed up so they're not rubbery. Okay, so then put them aside. So for the filling, I took the shredded chicken, I added the shallots, mushrooms. I'm gonna season it with oregano, pepper flakes, and paprika. That's to taste, and probably also salt and pepper you want. Get as many tortillas as you want, depending on how many enchiladas you want. You probably want like 6 or so, and just set them aside. Okay? Right, so let's make the enchiladas now. So you can do this in a separate container. Some people like to bake them for a little bit more to sort of grate the cheese. I don't really do that, but it's up to you, I guess. So you just take a tortilla, just get some filling on it, and you roll it. Easy stuff. So that's it. Just sort of bundle everything together here. Just roll it. There you go. You got an enchilada. Keep going. Alrighty, if you played your cards right here, you should come here to a nice, beautiful, fluffy pot of Mexican rice. Like it was just, you may notice that at the bottom, it was just starting to stick. Sometimes you want to try to get a fluffy consistency. You may get a mushy consistency, which is called batido, se batió. Like it's a little bit fluffy. I managed to get a somewhat fluffy consistency. So so just go ahead and experiment. It's gonna take several times for you to get Mexican rice right? It is, again, like I mentioned, it's incredibly easy for it to stick. You have to really babysit it, okay? But I think this is alright. So we got a serving of that in here. Then you get your hot salsa in here. Garnish with cheese. Right? And of course, if you got beans, you can also accompany this with that, and a portion of that. But there you go. But that's your enchiladas. You can add more or less salsa to taste. And if you have sour cream, you probably want to add that to this. You don't have to, but I didn't have any sour cream really. So but yeah, but I'm thinking this is dinner, so enjoy. Ready? So, take taste. Oh, right on. A lot of layers. The mushroom and shallots give it a lot of aroma. Let's try the rice. Super fluffy, tangy. Oh yeah. Dude, I really got it right this time. I'm happy. Look who's here. You want food? But you already ate, bitch. What a funny puppy. I love him. I'm like, yo, what's up? You got food? Some people like to bake them. Some people like to bake enchiladas. So you can get a thicker layer of grated cheese. Again, it's up to you. Some people like to feel the actual enchilada roll. They like to fill it with rice, but that's a California thing. Dude, I did quite fine, if I may humbly say so myself. Quite spicy. I like it spicy, but unfortunately, I mean, some people may not like that. Probably wanna go easy on the serranos.
And so for now, I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye bye.